What is going on, everybody? It is me again. It is HorrorFan34, and welcome to another video, and welcome once again to another Weekly Watch Challenge video. Want to give a shout out to my good friend Dale Stark, who came up with this idea actually for me and Rob to do. And he decided, like Dale suggested, that we do 90s Action Week. So basically, these are all films that are action films in the 90s, and I'd say this was a really good one to do. So I wanted to thank Dale a lot for coming up with this idea of doing this, because the 90s definitely had a lot of really good films that were action films from back then. And once again, shout out to Rob for doing this challenge as well. Really fun doing this. So it was really hard for me to do this week because there were so many I can choose from when it comes to 90s action movies. But I do have my 5 that I picked out right here that I watched throughout the week. So let's get started. So starting off on Monday, I watched Die Hard with a Vengeance from 1995. Without a doubt, my favorite sequel of the Die Hard franchise. I mean, wall-to-wall action. Love the setting in New York. Love the chemistry between Bruce Willis and Sam Jackson. Jeremy Irons as Simon does a great job as the villain. And very well done action set pieces. Love the ending. I mean, and John McTiernan came back once again to direct the film. So, definitely one of my favorite action films, period, of the 90s. And one of my favorite films of all time, period. I love Die Hard with a Vengeance. Without a doubt, the best sequel of the Die Hard franchise. So that was on Monday. Tuesday, I decided to go with Breakdown. Without a doubt, one of my favorite Kurt Russell films. Very underrated. Where Kurt Russell goes after this truck driver, played by J.T. Walsh. May rest in peace to who kidnaps his wife, Kathleen Quinlan, and basically, has to save his wife pretty much from this villain, from this trucker. And very well done stuff. Directed by Jonathan Mostow, who would do Terminator 3. Very well done flick, Breakdown. Very well done action as well. Good thriller. And Kurt Russell was just a badass in the film. Just a great flick, Breakdown. Then on Wednesday, I decided to go with Total Recall. Definitely one of Arnold's best films, in my opinion. Definitely one of my favorites of his. I mean, it's an all-time classic. I mean, what more can you say about Total Recall that hasn't been said before? I mean, definitely one of the best action films of all time, and definitely one of Arnold's best films. Very well done action sequences. Very well done score by Jerry Goldsmith. You have Sharon Stone, Michael Ironside, Ronnie Cox. Directed by Paul Verhoeven. Definitely my favorite film of his, Paul Verhoeven. Then on Thursday, I decided to go with Con Air. Definitely one of my favorite action films of all time. Love Nicolas Cage, John Cusack, John Malkovich as the villain. And great cast of characters. You have Steve Buscemi, you have Ving Rhames, Danny Trejo, Dave Chappelle. Directed by Simon West, who would later do The Expendables 2, The General's Daughter, the first Lara Croft Tomb Raider. Definitely his best film, though, Con Air. Put the bunny down! Great line by Nicolas Cage. Very tongue-in-cheek, very fun sense of humor they have with the film as well. But Con Air, definitely one of my favorites. And then going on to Friday, to finish all off 90s Action Week with this one. I figured this would be a good one to finish off 90s Action Week with this one on Friday. The Rock. Why not finish off 90s Action Week with my favorite action film of all time? The Rock is an awesome flick. Sean Connery, may rest in peace. Nicolas Cage, Ed Harris, Michael Biehn, William Forsythe, Tony Todd. Great cast of people. Very well, and the music was done by Hans Zimmer and Nick Glennie Smith. And definitely my favorite Michael Bay film. Without a doubt, one of the best action films, period, and my favorite action film of all time. So that's all the stuff that I watched for this week, and stay tuned for next week. Want to give a shout out to Super Jamin Brothers for coming up with this idea. He suggested that we do Space Week, which is basically films that deal with being in outer space and everything. So I think that's a pretty cool one. So I definitely have some cool ones in mind for that one. So thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.